Mr. Ambassador, Director Erdel, members of Polish Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be here to discuss the current issues of Polish community in Norway. Actually, it's my first visit to Norway, and I'm happy to be in Oslo today. Today's event is a great opportunity to talk about the topics our citizens are directly involved in. Thank you, others, for your words underlining the importance of Polish presence in Norway and our relations. Not all of today's European allies, like Poland and Norway, are so privileged to talk about over 1,000-year-old tradition of bilateral contacts devoid of wars and tensions. Our relations were always shaped by consensus and understanding. Undoubtedly, we can describe our bilateral relations as outstanding. The recent visit of Prime Minister Anna Solberg and Minister Vidar Helgesen to Poland has confirmed it. We follow with satisfaction the increasing importance of our cooperation. Poland's membership in the EU, whose 10th anniversary we celebrate this year, forms basis for Polish-Norwegian cooperation within the European Economic Area. Poland and Norway are close partners in the field of security. As NATO fringe states, we have similar views on international security. Regional cooperation between Poland and Norway is also important. As a member of the Council of the Baltic Sea States and an observer in the Arctic Council and Barents Euro-Arctic Council, Poland wishes to strengthen its relations with the Nordic region. Poland's presidency in the Council of the Baltic Sea States, which begins in July 2015, shall constitute a further opportunity for that. Economic cooperation is yet another reason to be satisfied with Polish-Norwegian relations. Both Poland and Norway are members of the European Economic Area. It is gratifying that this cooperation serves both our countries. Thanks to the EEA, trade turnover raised from some 2 billion euro in 2004 to more than 6 billion euro in 2013. For the last several years, Poland has been an important market for Norwegian fish, especially salmon. And as the statistics for the 3 quarters of this year show, it has even become the biggest importer of Norwegian seafood. Norway plays a crucial role as a supplier of oil and gas for the EU countries. Although Poland buys this energy from other directions, there are 2 Polish companies present on the Norwegian continental shelf, PGNiG Upstream International and Lotos Exploration and Production Norway, both of them investing in new fields and taking part in subsequent licensing rounds. I'm satisfied that conference is highly attended by professionals from business circles and hope for further growth of trade and investment. I assure you that there is still potential to be developed between our countries and our business. The important factor in Polish-Norwegian bilateral relations are EEA grants and Norwegian grants, for which Poland is the biggest beneficiary. Thanks to the most cooperative attitude of the Norwegian partners and smooth proceedings, these fundings has enabled close cooperation between our public institutions, scientists and NGOs, helping to preserve historical heritage, develop civil society, protect environment and promote renewable energy. Even the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Warsaw and the Polish Embassy in Oslo took its courage, and today all may witness the results because this conference is organized and financed through the EEA and Norway Grants, precisely thanks to the Bilateral Cooperation Fund. In 2004, Poland's accession to the EU triggered what is now considered to be the largest migration flow to Norway in history. Indeed, the numbers, more than 89,000 of Poles in Norway, are impressive. They prove that the Norwegian market creates interesting opportunities for my compatriots, as well as they are an attractive opportunity for the market in Norway. The fact that Poles constitute the largest foreign nationals group in Norway gives an additional important dimension to our cooperation and makes bonds between our countries even more intense. Norway is very friendly towards Polish migrants. It is important to maintain the core principles on which the free movement of persons is based and ensure equal conditions of work and pay for all. It is also important to see and present Poles in Norway as an asset to Norwegian economy and contribution of Poles to economic growth in Norway. Nevertheless, we must admit we are living in challenging times for our economies and societies. Thus, common responsibility of European countries should be to facilitate all kinds of economic and social endeavors that would make our continent more innovative, more competitive and efficient in economic terms, more sustainable as regards social structures. Economic experts' reports confirm that labor mobility is an important factor for economic growth. Nevertheless, the annual cross-border mobility in Europe is low. Within the EU in 2010, it stood at just 0.35% level. The result is particularly low if you compare it to interstate or province mobility in the US, more than 2%, or in Australia, 1.5%. This is the main reason why the freedom of movement in the EU and EEA needs even more incentives, being one of the key drivers for the European economy. The need for more labor mobility has been also underlined by the new Commission President Juncker in his agenda for jobs, growth and investments. This rather low labor mobility is the economic challenge for Europe, but it is not the only one. There is a widespread fear of migration despite a lack of empirical evidence. In fact, mobile EU citizens are net contributors to the public finances. This is why we need a proactive strategy to change the climate of public debate around the free movement of persons. This is not only a question of pragmatic response to current threats stemming from measures implemented by several European states. It is also a more fundamental question about basics on which the whole EU and like-minded countries are founded. If we will not mobilize mainstream political and social forces to counteract the wave of populism, xenophobia and intolerance, we put into risk entire European projects. The Polish government follows the discussion on the impact of free movement on national social welfare system. Obviously, we would not like to deny problems some of the member states are facing due to the EU migration. Even though they may be incidental, we should try to tackle them the most effective way, which is possible within the existing EU legal framework. It was confirmed by the latest judgment of the Court of Justice of the European Union in Dano case, which can be translated into the conclusion that member states have many options and legal tools at their disposal to make sure their social system is not being abused without contesting freedom of movement, which is a basic principle of the European Union. We hope that this development may help to achieve a balance between EU migrants' rights and states' legitimate interests and stop spreading the theory according to which Europe lacks regulation and protection against misuse of social security benefits. Today, we will debate over the opportunities and challenges created by the Polish migration to Norway. As I said in the beginning, the opportunities are on both sides, for the Polish migrants and for the Norwegian economy. Polish community in Norway is distinguished by its development. It is not only the case of number, but first of all, the development of their professional skills, including improving their Norwegian linguistic abilities. This is why the Poles are one of the best integrated groups in Norway in view of the social, cultural, and economic dimensions. However, there are always things that can be improved as migration creates some tangible challenges to the recipient country. Migrants are often a vulnerable group, for example, that may need an additional legal and linguistic support to avoid administrative red tape or even abuses from employers privileged by their advantageous position. Migration is also a situation for a whole family. Partners of migrant workers may need some additional support to learn Norwegian, and their children may need a better access to their mother tongue language courses, guaranteed by the Directive 77. Facing these challenges may help bring in even more measurable benefits to Norwegian economy with the end result of a win-win situation. I would point that Norwegian plan integration through cultural diversity multiplies the benefits from the minority presence for the receiving country. We highly appreciate support given by local authorities to the Polish schools and teaching Polish language in schools, where larger groups of the Polish children attend. To sum up, this conference confirms our close bilateral relations and the intensive ties our society developed in recent years. I'm happy that is not only political dialogue, but also possibility to exchange opinions. There are many reasons for continuing this discussion. These are every Pole in Norway, every Norwegian in Poland, every single importer, every exporter, investor, any cultural institution, Norwegian student in Poland, Polish student in Norway, and so on and so on. I wish you very fruitful discussion. Thank you very much.